Hi, I'm Dr. Jordana Quinn, founder of Quinntessential Journey, a supplement company designed to optimize cellular health around transformative experiences. What if you could improve patient outcomes and increase revenue both at the same time? That's not a sales pitch. That's just literally what happens when you decide to practice comprehensive ketamine care. So today I want to talk to clinic owners and providers because I hear the same questions over and over again, and they're really good questions, but let's just go through them one by one. The first question is, how do the illumination packs actually create revenue for my practice? Well, there's two models and both work. It just depends on how your practice is set up. The first model is the fully integrated approach. You can carry the illumination packs in-house and you build the cost directly into your session pricing. They're not a line item. They're not an add-on that patients can opt out of. They're just part of how you do ketamine care at your clinic. The same way a surgical center doesn't charge separately for the sterile drape, right? It's included because it's part of the standard of care that you've decided to provide. This model gives you the cleanest patient experience, the strongest compliance, and really the highest margin because you're buying wholesale and building retail into your package pricing. Patients never feel upsold because there's nothing to sell them. It's just what they get when they come to you for treatment. The second model is the affiliate model. And this is ideal if you don't want to carry inventory or if your practice structure doesn't allow for in-house supplement sales. You sign up as an affiliate online and you give your patients a personalized link or coupon code that they purchase directly. And then you receive a percentage of every sale. Zero overhead, zero stocking, and zero fulfillment. It just runs in the background while you focus on patient care. And here's what both models share. The bigger financial picture goes well beyond the supplement margin itself. When patients get better results, less fatigue, fewer headaches, more stable mood throughout the entire process, they complete their treatment and they come back for maintenance. They even refer their friends and they leave the kind of reviews that fill your schedule. So the real return on comprehensive care is retention and word of mouth. And that is worth far more in the long run than any single revenue line. The next question I hear is, what does this do for patient satisfaction? Well, think about it from the patient's perspective. They've invested real money, real hope, and real vulnerability in this process. When you hand them a protocol that is designed specifically for the journey that they're about to embark on, you've just communicated something super powerful. I see you as a whole person, and I'm invested in your outcome. And that's not a small thing. Patients who feel genuinely cared for don't just get better results. They change, and they evolve, and they even tell others. And in a word-of-mouth driven space like ketamine therapy, that is everything. So that brings me to the next question. In a market where ketamine clinics are proliferating and popping up everywhere, how do I stand out? Well, the reality is ketamine clinics are popping up everywhere, and most of them are offering the same thing: an IV, a chair, and maybe some music, and that's pretty much baseline. So the question is, what are you doing or what are you offering beyond that? Comprehensive care is your differentiator. When a patient is comparing clinics and one of them says, here's your infusion, and the other one says, here's a complete protocol, nutritional prep, nervous system support, neuroplasticity optimization, and a full recovery plan, there's really no comparison, right? You've positioned yourself as a clinic that takes outcomes seriously, and that's your competitive advantage. Another question I get is, what about side effects? Or, my patients don't really crash or have side effects from ketamine. So here's what I found as a physician treating patients. Most patients don't actually realize how fatigued they actually are during a ketamine series until they feel better. The tiredness is there, it's just normalized. What we constantly hear from our patients on the illumination protocol is that they've had fewer headaches, they have more stable energy, they have less nausea and dizziness, and when they feel better physically, they're more open emotionally, more engaged in integration, and more likely to actually return for additional sessions. So reduced side effects doesn't just make the experience more tolerable, they actually make it more pleasant. A patient who felt rough and didn't understand why is going to tell a different story than a patient who feels well supported and energetic. The next question I get is, how do I justify charging more? Well, the thing is, you're not charging more for nothing. You're charging for a more comprehensive care model, and that is worth more. When you invest in the full patient experience, you're delivering something that most clinics aren't, which is preparation, protection, and support through the entire journey, and not just the hour in the chair. So the conversation with patients isn't, here's some supplements and that'll be extra, right? The conversation is, this is how we do things here. We care about your long-term results, not just your session. This protocol is part of what makes our outcomes different and long-lasting. So build it into your pricing, make it a part of who you are, and don't apologize for premium care. And finally, just a few quick questions I get all the time as well. Isn't this just an upsell? No, it's comprehensive medicine. There's a meaningful clinical rationale for every single ingredient in the illumination protocol, and it's built around ketamine's specific effects on the brain and nervous system. This is good medicine, nothing more. Well, what if a patient is already taking supplements? My recommendation is to have them switch to the protocol during their treatment course, or at minimum, identify any overlaps and simplify. The goal is truly optimization, not addition just for its own sake. What about contraindications? Well, the good news is that these formulations are designed with safety in mind, and there are very few known interactions between these supplements and ketamine or common other medications. That being said, patients with specific medication concerns should definitely reach out to their primary care physician and ask about supplement medication interactions. Another question I get from therapists is, I'm not legally allowed to sell supplements in my practice, or even, I don't want to carry inventory. How can I do this? Well, this is where being an affiliate comes into play. You never have to touch an illumination pack yourself. You sign up as an affiliate, you have your own unique URL, and so you recommend the supplements on the URL, they purchase directly, and you receive a commission. It's clean, it's simple, and it's compliant. Here's the bottom line. You got into this work because you wanted to help people heal, deeply and lastingly in ways that change their lives. The illumination protocol is how you make sure that's actually happening. And it turns out that by doing right by your patients and by doing right by your business, they aren't in conflict. They're actually the same decision. At Quintessential Journey, we believe in honoring transformative experiences by supporting your body through comprehensive physician-developed protocols. Learn more at quintessentialjourney.com.